I was in Rome a few years ago. We went with a group of head teachers from our area, and we wanted to show them, the sights of Rome and give them experience of being a Catholic head teacher, why they were in Catholic schools. And the first day we took them to the Vatican, and there was a papal audience, and that was impressive. They were impressed by the size of the Vatican and actually being in the presence of the Pope. But next day we took them down to the catacombs, those cemeteries outside Rome, where allegedly Christians went to hide and avoid persecution, which is not the case. They're just Christian cemeteries. And we took them in there, and it was a completely different experience. We went down under the ground, walked through the tunnels which contained all the little slots in the wall where the Christians were buried. And then we had Mass. And as we stood there in this tiny little chapel with the graves of some of the early popes around us, we came to the words in the Mass where we remember all those who've gone before us, marked with the sign of faith. And a number of people were moved to tears when they thought of looking round and thinking, there are thousands of those people here now. And we're in almost physical contact with the very early years of the Church and the early Christians. And that was a profoundly moving experience, especially in the light of what we'd seen before, the glory and pomp and splendour of the Vatican. But here we were in touch with those early basic Christians who kept the flame of faith alive from the very beginning. And it reminded all of us, I think, but especially me, that I'm part of a great big long story. And I'm part of it, but I'm associated with those men and women, children, who are lying around us and whose faith was passed on through the generations to me. And the debt I owed them was something I could never express, but it was a profoundly moving moment. I suppose my ongoing journey from that point was with a raised awareness of the importance of passing on the message, that there will be future generations who ought to be grateful to us, that we've received the message, we've taken it into our hearts, and we've passed it on. In other words, the faith is not something which arrived here, and I'm very grateful for it, thank you. But no, it's been passed on to me, and it's my duty then to ensure that, to the best of my ability, I pass it on in turn, so that other generations will have something of a similar experience in thanking God for the gift of faith which we have handed on to them. I do feel God's presence every day. I don't think I could do what I do without feeling God's presence, and that, as Newman says, we're all given a particular task or job that no one else can do, and we're given it by God, and God has said, this is what I want you to do, because no one else can do it the way you do it. Someone might be able to do it better, but no one can do what you are being asked to do, and that's the voice of God to all of us. No one can do what you are asked to do.